Hello, this is Phil. Welcome to part 2 of a 3-part series about using the Seducer's Guide to Hypnopoetics. What I'd like to do in this video, I'll concentrate mostly on helping you select the poems that you will want to use to get someone to fall in love with you, perhaps that you have just met. Let's assume that I've just met a woman named Anne, and I have her number. Maybe I met her at the coffee shop, and I'm about to make a follow-up call to her. And of course, that first call that you make after you get a number close is a critical call in which you have to really create some interest and some trust and some intrigue in order to move the relationship farther along. So what I'm going to do is to page down just a little bit in the Seducer's Guide until we get to the chart that's in the middle. These are the different phases of the relationship when you might be using one of the poems. A is for any phase, M is for someone you just met, F is for fall in love, where you already have her interest and her attention and you want to amplify the feelings. S is for someone that you want to get to fall in love with you and to have a sexual relationship. It's really erotic hypnosis, as is anything with an R next to it, and there's really one poem in there with an E which is used to end the relationship. But what we'll be looking for is for any, M for just met, S for falling in love, and sexual seduction. So I look back at the page full of poems, and I'm going to increase the size of this so you'll be able to read it a little bit better. Which relationship phase? Sublimity is good for having just met. Milongero is for any time. Right now is for just met. In an instant is for just met. You might be seeing a pattern here. When I first started putting them together, I put them together to meet women and was interested in seeing a lot of different women. So there's a lot of just met stuff in here. Clarity on Valentine. Certainly, how will I know you? To truly see. Another time. So those are the ones in the book of poetry for using with someone that you just met. Typically, the ones that I do like to use, however, are sublimity and right now. In an instant is also a good one for maybe that phone call, because it is really a version of the instantaneous connection pattern. Based on the chart, what I would do is say, let's use them in this order, which is in an instant, right now, and then sublimity. And that's kind of in increasing intensity in terms of personal and internal feelings. That's how I would go about it. Okay, so having chose sublimity, right now, and in an instant as the poems that I would want to read to this woman I've just met, named Anne, I would then go to the book Hypnopoetics and go to the table of contents. I would find in an instant, which is right here, and go to this poem. Pick up the telephone, and it would go something like this. Hello, Anne. Hi, this is Phil Billets. Yeah, we were talking just the other day at the coffee shop. Thought I'd give you a call and follow up and see how you're doing. Well, good. Hope you've had a chance to get out and enjoy some of this nice weather. Well, sure, I just wanted to follow up with you because I had a really good time talking to you and thought it'd be fun to talk again. The other thing that I had in mind is when I met you, it reminded me of something that I'd seen. So after I got back home, I went back online and found this poem that I'd seen before, and it just really reminded me of what was happening when we were talking the other day. Do you read poetry at all, or do you like poetry? Well, sure. I'm not really big on poetry, but occasionally I'll run across something that really seems to have special meaning, and I just wanted to share this one with you and see what you thought about it. Are you in a place where you can just listen? Okay, good. Well, here we go. In an instant. Have you ever experienced instantaneous connection with someone you hardly know. Perhaps you feel it in a dance, or see it in a glance, or hear it in their voice. But once you notice, you have no choice. You feel the attraction growing, as if a band of energy is glowing with the strength of the bond between you. Well, that gives you an indication of how I would start. I'm not going to read all of the poems. I don't really have time here. Once I read this poem, I would move on maybe to the next one like this. The next poem I wanted to read to you is one called Right Now. Since you enjoyed that first one so much, I thought it'd be worthwhile, because again, this one kind of reminded me of what was going on when we were talking the other day. It's called Right Now. Have you ever seen the future when you looked in someone's eyes? It's as if you suddenly realize that this was meant to be. So, as I finish reading Right Now, if things are going well, and almost always they're going well at this point, because these poems are designed specifically to get past any barriers that might be there. As long as she's working with you and going with it, I'd say you probably would only want to use, maybe 2, maybe 3 of these at a time. But if she's really into it, because you don't want to come across as somebody that's just a poem geek. These are just things that are going to help you. Your whole relationship's not going to be about these, but they will certainly pave the way. And so at some time or another, either in place of one of those 2 poems or in addition to those poems, just depending on how well it's going, you would want to give her Sublimity. Now, Sublimity is one that if you've signed up for my mailing list, you already have received a copy of it, and I encourage you to use it at your earliest convenience, and you'll be amazed at the results. So the phone conversation would go kind of like this. Well, Ann, I really don't have much time to spend on the phone now. I've got to go. But how well did you like those? You really liked those, huh? Well, I do have one more, and I'm going to read that to you, and then I'll have to say good night, and I think I'll just leave you with this one, because it's kind of a sleepy, dreamy kind of poem, and it goes like this. It's called Sublimity. Can you remember a time when fingertips touched your face, and the message that they traced was, "How very precious you are to me"? When you think of a love that is all you could wish for, more than you expected, and all that you deserve. When you wake in the morning and lie warm in your bed, luxuriating in your body's memory. So after I finish up Sublimity, I would go ahead and try to close on the next meeting by saying something like, well, it's been fun talking to you. I really appreciate you giving me your opinion on those. I didn't really know what to make of them. I just know they sort of reminded me of you when we met, and I just thought I'd share them with you and see if it was something that you would enjoy. So I'm really glad that you did. And would Tuesday night or Wednesday night be a good time for you to get together again for coffee? That's really the end of part 2 of the Seducer's Guide to Hypnopoetics. What I wanted to show you was how to select the correct poems to use with a woman at a given stage of a relationship. In this case, when we had just met, we chose 3 poems, Right Now, In an Instant, and Sublimity. Use them in the first call after getting a number for a woman. I think that if you use them in this way, you'll find that you are solidly in place for moving forward. These poems will have created a certain amount of trust, a certain amount of sexuality, and a strong emotional connection that she will find it hard-pressed to ignore. This is Phil at Hypnopoetics.com. Thanks. Bye.